I want people to understand these are things that you can do for yourself, for your family, and there's beauty in strength. You don't have to be out here knocking people's heads off in broad daylight, but it's best to be a warrior in a garden than to be a gardener in a war.
Julien Virgin.
All my kings, queens, princes, and princesses, my man Ziggy2Playa is now officially dropping jewels with Julien Virgin. Ziggy, not how you doing, my brother, but how you living?
How am I living? I'm living great. I'm very peaceful. This is the strongest my body's ever felt. I'm thankful for the training I've received, and I'm thankful for the energy that I've surrounded myself with.
Man, Ziggy, since day one, you've always had that energy and that spirit to you, man. You're preparing for your second amateur bout this Saturday.
Yes, sir.
At the Leaf Tournament.
Yes, sir.
Why do you compete? Why do you train? Why is it important for you to showcase your martial arts?
Well, first and foremost, like you said, martial arts. As you well know, I'm a creative person, and what I've learned and what my coach has taught me is that martial arts is an expression. It's a way to get your creative skill not only out in the world, but a way for you to release energy, release stress, and also, impose your will on the world. So the number one reason I train and I fight is to know how to protect myself and how to protect the people I love. It's very important to me that people feel safe when they're around me, and that I know what to do in different situations. You can't know all things, but it's good to know a good number of things for different situations. Another reason why I train is that I'm a big, tall, long, strong guy. You know, I don't want to get to 60 years old and be like, dang, well, I didn't play football, I didn't play basketball, like I got all these genetics and I didn't do anything with them. You know, I want to use my body to its fullest extent, or at least see how far I can go, and, you know, be able to tell my kids, my grandkids, your dad was a championship kickboxer, you know, a championship fighter, and that's the cloth that you're cut from. You know, so go forth in the world with that knowledge. And I also want to be able to train my kids when it's time for that. I feel like every young man and young woman should know how to defend themselves on a certain level, but especially the young men, because we are charged to defend the people we love.
Indeed. We're sitting here live on location, Old Natty, 50-yard line, bar and grill, yo hood.
My hood.
How did this area in which we're sitting in right now shape the man that's sitting next to me?
You know, it's like this is the area that shaped me, and my mom used to get her nails done at that nail salon, and that's where I get my nails done. I went and got my toes and nails done yesterday so I can deliver some pretty strikes come this Saturday. So I really enjoy this area. My mom used to get on us about getting free samples over there at what used to be Ingles. It later became Club Ritz, and now there's nothing there now. But I appreciate everything that I've learned and this area has taught me. And I take a little bit of the Southside everywhere I go. This is Riverdale, Georgia, and we go into places and ask, what can we do for you?
You talked about how martial arts was something that you wanted to just make sure you were able to defend yourself and your family and the people that you love. But what was the opening steps of you being introduced to martial arts and actually going to a gym to begin to train?
It's a very good question. So before the Riverdale Recreation Center, or whatever they're calling it now, is what it is currently, there was a small building, and within that small building, my mom signed us up for Taekwondo classes. So that was my intro to martial arts, and I want to say that was around second grade. Yeah, that was second grade, and it was a fun experience. I was in there with some of my cousins. I learned a lot, but, you know, being from a certain background, and, you know, my mom did what she could, we couldn't afford, like, the sparring gear. We couldn't afford all the, you know, the tapes and stuff that comes with it. You know, whenever you put a child in a sport or something, activity, there's different things you have to buy along with it. But we me and my brother had to repeat a belt, and she didn't like that, so she just pulled us out of it, seeing as it was going to cost her more money anyway. But that was my introduction, and then later in 2019, I felt the need to like get in shape, and then also learn how to defend myself. So I joined the gym, the sweatshop, which is actually, ironically, bringing this whole thing full circle because this next tournament is going to be held in that same gym. So there I got into shape, I got into conditioning, I learned the fundamentals of striking with hands. But that's essentially the two places where my journey started and restarted.
Once you restarted the journey back in 2019, what kept you consistently going back, and what made you even get to the point where you wanted to step into a space where you're now competing against somebody else looking to take your head off?
After I was taking the boxing classes, the coach there would ask us, who's ready to spar and this, that, and the third, but I didn't feel like I was ready yet, and looking back on it, I wasn't. I wasn't looking to be fed to anybody, and so I just took a break because I felt like it was more of a fitness class, it was more of a getting in shape class, more of a fundamentals class. I was working security at a restaurant, and I came across Baba Sifu and a friend of mine, and I started going to his classes, and it was more combat oriented, more real life application, ring application. And then from there, my confidence grew. It's been over a year that I started training with them. And then I moved on to my recent coach. But I feel like now I'm more equipped to deal with things in real life and deal with things in the ring. I've studied and I've had good teachers.
Ziggy, you mentioned your mom multiple times throughout this dialogue that we're having right now, from her introducing you to this area, introducing you to Taekwondo, man. Your mother is no longer here with us.
Yeah.
When you compete and when you train and when you even just do different activities, man, how is her spirit still running through you on a daily basis?
It's funny. Well, I wear her ring. I keep her ring on at all times, and it's a reminder, just like people used to put like the red, little string on their finger to remind them of, different daily tasks. But when I look at him, like, she's with me. And not only just that, but I feel her spirit in different situations. I'll have a conversation with somebody, or I'll be put in a situation, and I'll think, my mom wouldn't like that. And I say that all the time, my mom wouldn't like that. Or we celebrated her birthday on the 2nd, and the whole day me and my sister were like, nah, mom wouldn't like us using these glasses. Mom wouldn't like us using this play setting. I was like, let me go put a shirt on, because I know if I came to the table and my mom was here, she wouldn't be going for that. So I wanted to put a button-up shirt on. So it's just different things, and the impact that you have on people and the things you speak into people's lives, I feel like that's a way for you to live on. So she's with me all the time. And there was one moment particularly that I didn't understand until I started fighting competitively. I came into her room, and as usual, I put my head on her chest, and she just stroked my head, and she said, "You're a warrior. You're a warrior. You're a warrior. You're a warrior," probably like 70 times. And I was confused as to why she was doing it, but now that she's gone, I get it now. And it's more of like, I am a warrior. These are things that I was bred for. This is the tradition of my people, to defend and be strong. And she saw that in me. I didn't see it in myself at the time, but your children, and I feel like she's there with me in the ring every time I spar, every time I exchange. She's with me.
Indeed. Again, ladies and gentlemen, Ziggy2Playa officially dropping jewels with Julien Virgin ahead of his second amateur kickboxing match this Saturday, July 16th at the Leaf Tournament. Now, you have a very unique style, man. Ever since the day I met you, you've always just been different and unique in what you're doing.
Unconventional.
Never duplicated.
Yeah.
Often imitated, never duplicated, man. How would you describe said style?
My style? I try to live outside of myself a lot and understand what's really going on. There's people in this world who put clothes on and put accessories on, and you can tell it's not really them. I like to use myself and different parts of me as accessories sometimes. When I was in college, I noticed that I could grow sideburns and probably nothing else. This don't connect, and I don't have any wish for it to connect because this is my look. So I said to myself, what looks good with sideburns? An afro. Why am I walking around with waves and sideburns? It don't make sense, so I grew an afro. After that, it was, okay, what looks good with sideburns and afro? Okay, maybe a nice fitted collar shirt, maybe some bell bottoms, maybe some hard bottom shoes, you know what I'm saying? Transitioning it to this point, I'm wearing more fitted athletic apparel, and I look like I'm ready to kick somebody's door down and beat somebody's butt, you know what I'm saying? I look like an enforcer, with my all Adidas tracksuit, you know what I'm saying? We're looking to get that sponsorship, Adidas. So I feel like your style is an extension of your creative ability, and usually when somebody can't dress or is not dressing well, it's for lack thereof, or a lack of their knowledge of self and their creative ability, or the root of their creativity.
Indeed. Now, you talk about creativity, man. You've been creative in so many different realms, musically, specifically.
Yeah.
You're still putting out music right now, to this day, man.
To this day.
Speak on it.
I've been blessed to be surrounded with some talented people, and what I've learned is that it's almost a sin to waste opportunity and creative ability. I've been given a talent, so I choose to continue to share it with people and to multiply it with my friends and people who support me. But I feel like that's been one of my main callings on this earth, to make music. And I learned in 5th grade from my teacher, Miss Llewellyn, that I didn't really like. But she taught me 2 things. She taught me we don't have to like each other, but we do have to get this work done. 2, she taught me, if you have a talent and you don't use it, God will put it under a tree and allow somebody else to grab it. And usually you're not gonna like that. You're gonna see this person excel with the talent God gave you, but you didn't water it, you didn't maintain it, you didn't do anything with it. But that was your choice, that was your decision. So I told myself I would never go through that, and I would always want to see like what I could do and do something, which is why we're here at Martial Arts.
Indeed. Again, ladies and gentlemen, Julien Virgin joined here by Ziggy2Playa ahead of his 2nd amateur fight this Saturday, July 16th. Let's talk about your first fight. Walk me through that bout and what you learned from that experience.
From the first bout, I learned that out of the ring cardio and in the ring cardio is 2 separate cardios. And the whole time my coach was yelling, breathe, breathe. And I'm like, I am breathing. Nah, in hindsight, I wasn't breathing through my strikes, and I was wondering why I was so winded. Me as a guy who was up at 4 a.m. almost every morning on the Stairmaster, and I know I'm more conditioned than this guy, I'm like, why am I breathing hard like him? Because I wasn't punching through my strikes. I wasn't breathing through my strikes. So that's one thing I learned, to breathe. The second thing I learned was to tighten my technique a little more. When your cardio breaks down, majority of the time, unless you're like 10,000 reps in or something, your form breaks down. I was swinging a little wild. Looking at the tape, I thought I was doing okay, but the strikes could have been a little tighter. There were some opportunities missed. And there's one opportunity that I had that was big, but I knew in my mind I was ahead in points. And this man happens to be my tribesman. We're both Igbo. I didn't find that out till like 1 or 2 days before. And I was like, yo, his family's here, his kid's here. I'm not trying to kill this guy. So I just kind of like let it slide. And I learned a lot about myself. I have a lot of mercy, but I need to pick and choose when I'm being merciful. And that's pretty much it.
Ziggy, if I never saw you compete before,
yeah,
why should I be apt to come out to watch you this Saturday?
I feel like it's going to be a very entertaining show. You're going to see a display of artistry You're gonna see some men that have worked hard for days, months, years, decades on their craft. And beyond that, there's gonna be live music, drums, food, beautiful black people, and it's gonna be a very positive environment. It's gonna be an environment where even if you're thinking about getting into martial arts, this might push you to even join a class. You don't have to get in a ring. You know, I commend the dudes who do because you're risking your life and your body. But it'll be something that inspires you nonetheless, whether to take your own personal fitness more serious or at least respect what the men are doing in the ring.
Indeed. Ziggy, before we part ways today here at the 50-yard line on the south side of Atlanta, Old National Highway, that is.
Yes, sir.
I want your final thoughts, man. Something on your mind, your body, your spirit that you want to leave me with here this afternoon.
Well, first and foremost, I am referred to as Phenomenal Face, and I do have the style and grace. I'm the man who can when your man made no plan. And I wanted this to be an exhibition of my growth between December and now. I feel like I'm a totally different fighter. I feel a lot lighter. I want people to understand these are things that you can do for yourself, for your family, and there's beauty in strength. You don't have to be out here knocking people's heads off in broad daylight, but it's best to be a warrior in a garden than to be a gardener in a war.
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. The one, the only, Ziggy2Playa. We don't do this enough, but whenever we do, I'm always grateful that we had an opportunity
Yes, sir.
to drop some jewels with Julien.
Yes, sir.
Respect.
Much.
Peace.